So last year I found this desk, and this video is the entire process of me restoring it. I learned quite a few things, and I pretty much bumbled my way through the whole restoration. I learned how to fill deep gashes with wood glue and sawdust. Worked great. I learned how to re-glue drawers, and it worked great because they're all wobbly. Now they're all tough. I learned how to use a hypodermic needle with wood glue in it to squeeze it between the broken laminate layers of the plywood, and that worked great. I've learned so much stuff. So here is like a whole month of me restoring this desk to wonderful working order. No splinters, nice and clean. I hope you enjoy. I got this desk last year on the side of the road, and it was in pretty rough shape. And then I let it sit underneath my workshop overhang, and it got rained on for about 4 or 5 months. And then I finally had enough room to bring it into the workshop. It was funny because it was upside down, and I pulled out the drawers, and they were full of water. But it was just the small side. A little bit of green mold or something there, but it's hard to tell what that actually is. Either way, it didn't seem to actually have damaged it much more because, well, for all I know, it could have been sitting out there for quite a while because the front laminate was already breaking off. This is going to be a restoration of my own taste. For instance, I think we're going to remove the laminate from the front of these drawers because the wood behind it looks fine to me. You can sand that down. And then these knobs, they're all new, like from the 2000s or 90s or something like that. So those are, I would like to see about trying to turn my own. This little stand-up thing I really like. And I want to see if I can maybe sand that and refinish it. But if I don't have to refinish something, I'm not going to. Like this perimeter here, might keep that because it should be okay. The laminate on the top, I'll try to keep that by putting glue underneath any of the parts that are coming up and maybe somehow smoothing that out because I don't want this to keep coming up. It is plywood after all. Well, let's start by cleaning it off and then by looking at this laminate that's peeling off. Okay, so that'll come off nice. And the wood behind it, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll save this for something else. But it just doesn't fit. That is enough mechanical sanding for now. I suspect, hopefully, enough for this project. Because the other pieces should be able to be done by hand. Oh my god, I just realized. I forgot that I have a Stanley number 82 scraper. Oh. Oh, that'll work perfectly. Better than sanding. Looks like we have a little bit of scuffing here. Could use some sanding. Seems I have a lot of 220 grit, so we'll keep using 220 and see if it's enough. I found some 400 grit. It works really well. Because I do a lot of metalworking, I have really high grits, but I don't have as many low grits. I scuffed it up there, but that's fine. I don't care too much. Okay, I found an issue. This one, when I go back and forth, it's like a square, and this one, it's all broken apart. Okay, so it really was barely held together. Makes this easier to work with though. A lot easier. Now the reason I'm being so recklessly gung-ho about learning how to do all this gluing and stuff like that is because a computer could fit in here perfectly. So if this doesn't work, I'll go to plan B, remove these, and remove that, and I'll just have one large drawer where I can have my computer in there. But I'll still try to do this and see if it works. I think from now on I'll stop buying glue in such large bottles because they develop a little bit of a leak in the top and then they're just ruined. After thinking about this, I've decided I'm just going to remove this laminate because the wood underneath looks fine. And the worst part is this laminate or whatever doesn't even go to the edges. Like it barely reaches and then they just coat it over the rest. So it's not like it even fully covers the front. Obviously this is a very cheap desk. I'm going to start off with 120 grit. We'll go lower this time. Wow, that's quick. Go up to 240 grit. Now we're on to 400 grit. Holy shit, that's clean. It's pretty good. All right. I forgot I got these long clamps. They were on like discount or something. Oh, I think they were like 10 bucks a pop, so that will be very useful. I was planning to just use bricks to hold it down, but not now. Put that on first, and then and then So that'll go in first. And then I say I slide this in. And lock that in place. And then I put the back on. And then I put the side on. I think that makes the most sense. Just let that run down, and just a very small amount. Should be good. Might put too much on that one, but oh well. Looks like I'm not using too much glue. Well, I mean, I could optimize a little bit more, but that's mostly how it comes out, and that seems fine to me. Well, shit, this is easier than I thought. Oh, I forgot one. Oh, well. Fine. Okay, I'm going to make this more complicated than I need to do. Jeez. Well, that seems fine. Let's take a look at this now. The leaves out of there. This one is falling apart too. Do the same thing. Glitter really has a hard time getting it going away whenever you use it, I guess. Maybe somebody had a glitter bomb. It's usually by all the stickers on the desk. Probably a little girl had it. Now this is coming off too. Oh well. I like how the wood looks without this though. It's a neat laminate, but I just don't need it. fucking hell. Nobody's coughing there, but you won't notice it. It's all good. It's only been about 30 minutes, but I really don't think this is going to have any issues. Figure it's the best place to stow that. I bowed out a little bit, so that glass clamp was very useful. So I'm just digging through my laboratory equipment, and I found this, which the plastic's getting kind of hard. That might break. So this is a little dropper for ink, one of those refill kits for refilling your ink cartridges in your printer. This would be perfect for what I want, but I also found I have hypodermic needle. Oh, whoops. I think I can fill it with wood glue, and then I can squirt glue, for instance, underneath here. But yeah, it's a hypodermic needle, so. Oh, okay, so I don't need to be cutting myself with this or stabbing myself with it, but I'll fill that with glue. And then this can now be my designated wood glue filling kit. And hopefully I can keep some of this laminate from getting too stuck. Especially, I can do it underneath these sections. I'm going to turn the desk on its side. I might actually be missing a piece of wood. No, it looks like it's not missing a piece of wood. I'm going to turn the desk on its side and we can work on that. Oh yeah, that's nice and solid. And all the glue is clear, so that's very good. And I've decided I am going to go ahead and sand this so it's a complete face. That'll be good. So on the right hand side of this desk, you know, there's actually not that much coming up. The back side has some pieces that are sticking up. Right in there. Oh my God, it works. Ah, it's hilarious. Wow. Wow, this stuff goes a long way. This is so nice. I'll put a bunch over here in this corner. It goes back for quite far. See, this has a piece of wood on this side, so on this side of this piece of plywood it never comes up. So if only they would have put a strip of wood on both sides, wouldn't have this issue. Now I'm just getting desperate. Look at that. I've only used about 1/4 of that. I'm going to use a lot on this though, because this stuff has some serious damage. Somebody got their footsies stuck on this and decided to rip it out. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to blame them, because I might do the same thing when I'm preoccupied with something else. A good desk doesn't poke you. And then the foam, like so. All right. This part here. Oh, how am I going to do that? That works. Well, shit. That worked like a treat. It's been a whole day now, and I should be ready to take this stuff off. Oh, nice. Most of it is all sealed down well. So the plywood won't be fraying anytime soon. now time to fix this damage, and it's gouged out quite badly. I wonder if I can use some of this very, very fine oak sawdust mixed with some glue. Oh, look at that. Mice footprints. Mice have been up there. That's cute. Yep, that's all messed up. So I've heard that mixing sawdust in with glue can have some weird effects. Hey, why not, you know? These are locomotive pistons and they're really fucking heavy. Problem is, they're kind of what you expect though, because they leave like locomotive engine grease everywhere. Alright, I've made the decision that I don't want to have to sand any more of these corners. And they have like a little lip on them that makes it really hard to... I have to use that wire wheel to get into the... like this little line here, and I really just don't care. If these were beveled edges, sanded flat, that'd be perfectly fine. I like it. Just let them sit for a day. Wish it was darker, but I can always put something over it. You know what, now that it's been about 3 days, it's actually pretty cool. It's more brownish than I thought it was. But the wood has soaked this up and become quite rough. So we'll need to sand that again, just a little bit by hand. And let's see how this went. I should find some gloves. Because these pistons are greasy. Oh, that is weird. Oh, whoops. And I just ripped that up. Wow. I can see that actually could, like if I were to sand that really well. I don't want to sand around this, but it is like filling it in with particle board, but it's actually quite strong. I was expecting me to have to pick all this out, but can you see it better there? So, you know, it's not that bad. I think I'll put some more glue over that, and then we can actually sand it down. Turns out it was easier to get a more level distribution just by spreading it with a thin piece of the veneer that I took off. Birds have really liked being in my workshop lately, so I'll cover it with this drawer for today. Now a good use for today would be seeing if we can actually salvage this finish, because this has some drink stains on it similar to the top of the desk. Something on there. Interesting. No, that'll wear that off. It's like fingernail polish, so looks like this was owned by a girl. Just makes sense. Well, that acetone worked great. It appears that this wood has had, like, whatever wood this is made from, there's like channels in there, so it looks like there might have been some like insect damage. I just went ahead and got an actual cloth. Yeah, I think a little bit of linseed oil, and this will look great. Fairly certain this is where I put my linseed oil in, so I went ahead and wrote it on there since I forgot to write it. But if not, we'll be putting transmission fluid on here. Let's see. Oh, yep, that's linseed oil. That's nice. It's very nice. Oh, I was going to test it on the other side, right. Oh well, who cares. Let me find a little piece to stick in there, because this little bit at the end tends to get a little bit of the linseed oil drying up. But the oiler has held the linseed oil for a year, and it's perfectly fine. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. Oh yeah, this is going to soak this up really good. Battery died and I went ahead and finished. The part without the varnish, it's soaked it in. And the other parts, it's lingered there. So that's nice. Weird. There's just stuff all over that. Okay, so that's actually part of the wood, I guess. Oh well, I can't be bothered to get too much. Just noticed, it looks like the sawdust has soaked up the rest of the glue. There we go. That's good. So I actually forgot about this for 2 days. Oh, that's nice. That is really nice. Nice and hard too. No deep gash on there anymore. No splinters on that, so that's good, and it's smooth. Now it's time to see how much we can do with some acetone. Oh yeah. Aha! It was Scotch tape. So that will be a cover that'll keep dust from blowing onto the table while the lacquer is drying. I think that'll work. Krylon Triple Thick Crystal Clear Glaze, Rust-Oleum High Luster Coating Lacquer, Ultra Smooth, Triple Thick Crystal Clear. I'll go with Rust-Oleum. Might as well. on. Should be good. First coat, the coats don't have to be perfect. They just have to be mostly okay. So this linseed oil I used, it was probably a mistake. I probably should have just went straight to the lacquer, similar to what I did over here, because that's still tacky after a few days. I'll need to put it in an oven to make it nice and toasty to speed that up. But this should be done in a day. And whenever I'm done with that, I'll clean off everything else. That smell of candy has died down, so let's hope that's dried enough for coat 2. It's been about 45 minutes. We're actually in the perfect range of temperature and humidity for this, at least according to the can. Should I go ahead and just cover lacquer on this? I guess I should. There's not much paint on this, so I did it quite easily. Okay, I went ahead and I just cleaned all of it, really. Just not the back, because the back will be against the wall, and I can do that later. I know it's not quite even, but I hope the odd and evenness of a few layers should add up. You know what? That's actually working really well, despite me just throwing it on. I'm pushing my luck though, that's for sure. I'll just do one coat on the back, a really thick coat, just to make it at least somewhat, or whoever sees it after me doesn't think, ew. You know what? I'm actually bumbling my way through this pretty well. So, fuck it, let's go again. But this time I'm going to go this way. Just on this front part, that's going to get a lot of wear and tear. There we go. So just for comparison, this is my current desk, which I'm replacing. There's this floor to it. Makes no sense. You can't put your chair underneath it, and you can't put your feet down. So you have to have a cushion, otherwise you hurt your feet on it. My cat loves that though. And it's just not very good. That's where I edit all my videos. And do my Arduino programming stuff. It's been 3 days and it's been rather cold. The top didn't quite dry as I wanted, so I brought it outside. And after being in the sun for 5 hours, a very warm sun, it's firmed up quite a bit. I can only barely scratch it. Still, it's been 3 days. It said 24 hours. I don't know what else to do. I guess it'll take a lot longer to dry. The front looks great. The sides, I didn't wash them good enough, evidently. I couldn't even see, it was so dark, and so that dirt is now encapsulated underneath the lacquer. I don't really care though. It's actually coming off. Maybe that's something else they brushed up against it, but still. Something to keep in mind. I don't really care though. The only thing that's going to be seen is the top and the front. Now I know I have another week or so to actually fix the drawers, but I want to go ahead and put them in just to see how they look before I put the thing in the house. And it's not too bad. That's actually kind of neat. Look at that line. Oh, it's very nice. Oh, hello, kitty cat. Hello. Symbol. Hello. It's weird to see you on the outside of the window. So I made a drawer pull. Very simple. Yeah, I think that'd be great. I probably should have glued it on before putting the coating on it, but we can find out. But I'm learning so much. There's a way to mechanize this, but it doesn't seem to be. Just have a router. But then I wouldn't have to carve it by hand, so I wouldn't be doing this. I just went with some maple that I had recently, and you know, it kind of tears out easily. I was not expecting that. Oh, whoops, I forgot to adjust my camera brightness. Hope I don't make too much of a mess, but we'll see. Look at that. Whoops. So now that I've had a chance to use the desk, you know, I realized I really just do not like this drawer. Ah. The only thing interesting is this, but I just really don't like it. It's kind of neat. NLCO, Rockford, so I believe NLCO would mean National Lock Company. That's kind of all it really could mean, to be honest. So whenever I'm sitting here, this bar is right in the way of my keyboard on my lap, and I would like to have my chair higher so my knees can be like right here, and I can actually be on my desk. Whereas now, my natural height of playing is at this height, and that's a bit too much of a difference. So I guess there's some, oh, there's some screws at the end. I see. Do I really need this wood? Not really. Oh, was the desk really green? Weird. It might have been green. Huh. Somebody might have sanded this desk at one point. Because where this shelf is, it's ugly 1970s green. Huh, look at that. Green. Ugly green. So, I just didn't want to have that drawer. I have too many drawers as it is. Might be it for this can, and it worked out pretty well. Whew. You can tell I've stopped caring. I mean, a bit of, it's not running, it seems to be working. Wow. These are out in the sun for only a few hours and they're completely dry. So I discovered my old 1970s chair. Despite the raising mechanism being broken, I could turn it by hand, and now it's taller. And I'm really glad I got rid of that drawer now, because it would have been cutting into my knees. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Here I can do my video editing and gaming and such. It worked out really well. Oh, fuck off. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya.